So it's just like, I can only like, what else can I do to better myself and to live consciously and to live compassionately? Hey guys, what's up? My name is Fern and I have some thoughts to share. So let me fix this. So as you can see from the title, this video is going to be why I am taking myself off of PR lists, and I guess I'm just going to be sharing some of my thoughts and my experiences with receiving PR or free stuff from companies, basically. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I have a little bit of a following there, not a huge following, but enough of a following that companies would reach out to me and send me free stuff. And often this would consist of PR lists. So for quite a few makeup brands, I would receive all of their new launches and new products with the expectation that I would post about them and share them with my followers, and it would promote their company. I'm sure that most of us know how PR and how like influencers getting free stuff works. So yeah, I guess that's basically the little like preface I'm going to give to this. So my Instagram page was mostly makeup and fashion, that kind of stuff. So that is most of what the stuff I would receive was. What? That doesn't even make sense. That was most of the stuff I would get, makeup and fashion. Okay, so I feel like I need to make like 10 disclaimers, but I'm just gonna quickly say that this video is not to attack or say anything negative about any brands or any other influencers or like anybody really. This is truly just my experience and my thoughts. So yeah, I don't have any like tea on any brands, or I haven't had any like huge negative experiences with brands, and there's so many influencers that I absolutely adore and still completely support and love following and watching their videos, and I would never say anything bad about any of them. Also, I just want to mention that because I don't have like, it's not like I have a million followers on Instagram, right? So my experience is going to be different than somebody who does, and from somebody who does this for work as their job. So, okay, with those disclaimers being said, if you still want to hear my thoughts and my experience, then just keep watching the video. So basically over the past probably, I would say, year and a half, I've been consistently receiving free stuff from brands. And at first, this was so cool, like so exciting. I thought that, like, I couldn't believe it that I was getting this free stuff, and it was just like very cool, very exciting to me. I was very passionate about trying out new products and sharing new products with other people. And it was just great. Like, I loved it. It was such a fun hobby, and it gave me something to look forward to. And it was also helpful because I was a student when this started, and now, even though I'm not a student anymore, I have student loans, and it's really windy outside. And it was just really helpful that I was like getting sent things so that I had to spend less money on clothes and makeup. But yeah, so that's how this all kind of started. So for about a year and a half, it was fine and dandy, and I loved it. And then fast forward to maybe 6 months ago is when I kind of started to realize that getting all this free stuff didn't make me feel so great anymore. I don't know if just the excitement of it had rubbed off, or if it was because I had really started to shift my values and like grow spiritually. I think it's probably a bit of both. But I know that I posted a vlog called I Want to Change My Life, I think. And I posted that, I'll link it down below, but I posted that in, I think, November or December. So yeah, about half a year ago. And you can tell that that was like a glimmer of me starting to really think about like what I was doing and how it was affecting me, and just like realize that it wasn't really fulfilling me, I guess. So yeah, but I still kept doing it, and I was like, oh, like, you know, I would kind of justify it. So around then was when I really started to realize that I was getting sent a whole bunch of stuff that I couldn't use. And I guess that was the first thing that kind of bothered me, was that I just had all this stuff that I couldn't possibly use. And I would, or even if I used it, like I would use it like once or twice, or I would swatch it and then it was used, and I just ended up like stashing it away. And then every once in a while I'd go through all my makeup stuff or all my clothes, and obviously I would donate the clothes, but I would go through all my stuff and I would just be getting rid of so much stuff, and it just felt so wasteful. And I guess I just kind of like felt guilty for having so much stuff that I wasn't using. Having all this stuff began to stress me out so much. Like, it was not bringing me joy, it was just bringing me stress. And the other half of this was that I would have to find time to photograph these things, to either like apply them to my face or do swatches or like unbox them, or you know, whatever I was gonna do. I would have to find time for that on my days off of work. So I would like work my work week, my set, and then on my days off I would have scheduled like photograph this on this day, photograph this outfit on this day, like do this on this day. And it just wasn't making me happy. Like, it was just like a pure stress. It was not worth getting the free stuff. Like, it just was not worth it anymore. And I know that probably sounds so dumb to some people, like, oh, I would have no problem photographing something if I got to have it for free. And I understand that, but I think that I was just really coming to a place in my life where it didn't matter if it was free or not. Things were just not making me happy anymore. Like, I was just really moving away from a kind of materialistic and consumerist mindset to the realization that I wanted to spend time on the inside. I wanted to focus my energy on developing and enhancing who I am as a person, and I want to spend time and energy on the values that are close to my heart. And I don't want to be spending all my days off, you know, like putting makeup on or putting together outfits and then photographing them for a brand, which I was not getting paid for most of the time. I was just like in exchange for the stuff, but that's a whole other story. So I guess that was basically how I was beginning to feel, and it was to the point where I would get something and I wouldn't even be excited about it when I got it. It would just be like, okay, that's another thing I have to photograph, that's another thing I have to post about. And it just became kind of a resentful cycle. But for some reason, and I did say no to more and more brands that would contact me, but for some reason, a lot of the time I would still say yes. And I don't know why, I just couldn't say no. I think it was just because I was still in that consumerist mindset, and it was kind of like a fear of missing out thing. Like, I would think, oh, I'm gonna see like other people posting this cool product or this cool clothing brand, and I'm like totally gonna miss out. Like, I don't know, it's like a really weird a really weird thing. But I feel like it was kind of addicting in a way, like just like getting free stuff. Yeah, so I wrote some notes in my phone, so I'm going to, I guess, kind of reference those to make sure I'm getting my points across. So what I was basically just explaining is the first point that I wrote, which is perpetuating consumerism slash, well, this is a different one. Okay, so the perpetuating consumerism, that's what I was talking about. Like, I know we're always told things don't make you happy, like happiness comes from within, but until you really understand that and align with that, you don't actually get it, and you're still stuck in the consumerist mindset. But yeah, I was just totally realizing that things like don't make me happy, they stress me out, I need to find a place to put them, I need to it was just, I'm almost glad that, well, I am glad that I've had this whole experience, because I've realized, I've come to this realization probably quicker than a lot of people do. And I feel like I had it brewed within me, and I was like pushing it off and like pushing it away. And even when I talked about this in that video like months ago, but yeah, so the whole consumerist, materialistic world that we live in, I just want to move away from that because it doesn't fulfill me. So that's what I'm gonna do. And society profit, the next thing that I wrote was society profiting off of the insecurities of women or men. That honestly could be a whole other video, but I'm just gonna throw it out here because even though makeup started as a creative thing for me, and it's totally a completely like creative and beautiful art form for so many people, but for a lot of people and a lot of the marketing, it's not. It really is just making women feel inadequate and that we can't be accepted for the way we naturally look. So that bothers me as well, but I'm not gonna go too into that. And then I wrote minimalism / excess, way too much stuff and it stresses me out. So I already talked about that. I do want to move towards a more minimalist lifestyle because I don't know, that's just what I feel called to do right now, and I am trying to get rid of as much stuff as I can because I just feel so much clearer, and I just feel like my life is so much carefree and so much easier when I have less stuff. So I've already gotten rid of probably half of my clothes and over half of my makeup. I've gotten rid of a ton of it and I already feel so much better. So yeah, obviously I'm just at the very beginning of this whole journey. Like I've just really allowed myself to come to this realization now, and yeah, I'm just gonna like keep growing from here hopefully and keep learning. So this isn't to say that I'm never gonna like buy makeup or I'm never gonna buy clothes, or that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm just beginning to realize this, and yeah, it's obviously going to be like a huge journey. Okay, so the next one is the packaging. Oh my god, you guys, I'm sure that any like influencer out there that gets a lot of PR can totally vouch for this. There is so much wasteful packaging. Oh my gosh. And I would like justify it by, you know, like I would recycle everything that I could, but it's still just so much. And there would be like a huge box and then like a lipstick or inside or something like that. Like it's just ridiculous. And I would have like piles and piles and piles of boxes that my poor boyfriend would have to take to the freaking recycling center. And then there would be stuff that isn't recyclable and just like pointless fancy packaging things. And I just don't understand why we can't just have like really simple small packaging that can be recycled, because it's so wasteful. And especially when it's something like PR, like it's just I don't know, after a while it was something that it really bothered me. So yeah, that's another thing. And then I wrote, it's a pain in the butt if it's not your job. I already touched on that too. So like I said, if you're working full-time and then you have to like figure out like all this product promotion whatever crap on your days off, like it's completely different ballpark if this is your job, and I get that, but for me it wasn't. And then it got to a point where I was just like, you'd have companies emailing you like, are you posting this yet, or when are you posting this, blah 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 blah. And I was just kind of like, oh, like thank you so much for the stuff that you sent me, but I'm doing this for free for you. Like in most of the time, it's different if it was like a paid post, but most of the time it was just like basically free promotion for them, because there's a lot of people out there who will do that, who will just trade free stuff for promotion. And if it was something, I'm gonna get to this at the end actually, about companies, because I'm not completely I'm not taking myself off of 100% of PR lists, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to be working with companies anymore, but I'll just say that it's not a pain in the butt if it's a company that you're passionate about and that you believe in, but I'll talk about that later. But it is a pain in the butt when it's just like whatever fast fashion crap. So, and then the next point that I wrote is actually an interesting one. The excitement of getting things is gone. It feels so good to buy my own things and not have to promote them. So this is something that I started to experience probably in the winter, in like the fall / winter as well. I would be getting so much stuff that I would have to promote, that like going out and buying something with my own money and knowing that I don't have to post anything about it, it's just mine to use, like I don't owe anybody anything. It was just like so freeing and so nice. And even now when I buy something, it just feels so good that I bought that with my money that I worked for, and I feel like I just appreciate it so much more and value it so much more. And that kind of ties into the whole minimalism thing, is that it doesn't mean you have no stuff. It just means that the things that you have and the things that you buy are really truly valuable to you and you appreciate them. So yeah, that's like an interesting thing that came out of it as well. So this next point is kind of a big one as well, and I would like to make a whole video sharing my like thoughts with you guys on this. So that is ethical fashion / the fast fashion problem. So I have recently become aware of how like detrimental fast fashion is, both for the environment and for human rights and just for like society in general. I watched the documentary The True Cost. It's on Netflix for anybody else who's interested in learning about the realities of fast fashion and where our clothes come from. So I basically came to the realization that most of these companies I was working with are fast fashion, pretty much all the companies I was working with were fast fashion companies. So fast fashion is basically like most of our clothing companies now, they're coming out with new styles like every week, and it's basically just like the super trendy things and clothes that are made cheaply and usually like profiting off of oppressed people living in poor countries. And yeah, that's like a whole thing. Watch the documentary or research it if you're interested, but it's really horrible once you learn about what fast fashion is doing to our earth and to humans and animals, like everything. It's just it's kind of like I was telling my mom that I was coming to this realization and thinking about it a lot, and I was telling her that it's like after I went vegan, I'm just becoming so much more aware of other things and opening up my mind to other things that I never even would have thought about. So it's just like I can only like what else can I do to better myself and to live consciously and to live compassionately. And that was just really like the next big thing in my life. So recently I have not been supporting fast fashion companies. I have been trying to thrift, and I've also been trying to do a lot of research to find more ethical and sustainable clothing companies. And that's something else I'd love to make videos on and share with you guys, because it's just so important that we really research where our money is going and support companies that are doing good over companies that are not doing good. So like I said, I'm just at the beginning of this journey and I'm not perfect, but my goal is to move as completely as possible away from fast fashion companies and towards having my stuff either mostly thrifted or purchased from ethical clothing companies. Okay, and then the last thing that I wrote was I'm moving in a different direction in life. I want to pick and choose companies to work with that I believe in. So basically I just like the overall thing to sum this all up is just that I felt like my online presence was detached from who I am, and the way that I was portraying myself is different from how I wanted to be perceived. Like, I don't know, it's like I was putting out stuff that I didn't feel good about, and I want to put out stuff that I'm passionate about and that I like wholeheartedly believe in and that's compassionate and ethical and that aligns with my values. So I am now going to be doing everything that I can to share companies that I am happy to be supporting that are doing good in the world. And I just really want to think now where all of my dollars are going. And yeah, I just think that I just want to do better and I want to portray that to the world, and I have a platform, so I just want to use that for good and I want to share good. And yeah, like I said, this isn't to like bash anybody, or you know, we're all doing the best that we can and we're all like following our own paths, and that's totally cool. But I just feel like this is the beginning of a new kind of journey for me, and I just feel like I'm like gonna tear up, but I just feel like I've been growing so much and I'm just going to continue to keep on growing. So yeah, I guess I'm also gonna say that there's probably a lot of people that follow me because of like the makeup and fashion stuff. And I'm not gonna say that there's gonna be none of that anymore on my page. It's probably just gonna be different. But I know that a lot of people probably like aren't interested in this new journey, but I am and it's me. So yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna go on forever. That's pretty much all I wanted to share. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please share your thoughts with me below. Please go easy on me. This is all like a new kind of like thing. I'm obviously gonna screw up. I'm not perfect. I'm human, and my goal is just to do better, to not be perfect. So yeah, share your thoughts with me down below, ask me questions, do whatever you want to do. I would honestly love to chat with you guys. I love chatting with you guys. Yeah, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, if you're not already subscribed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!